What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with yet more Destiny 2 news related to Season 22. And so in the update right here, Bungie have posted yet another blog article, this time breaking down some of the seasonal artifact perks that we'll see as part of the new season. And so yes, we finally do get the preview that many folks were asking about yesterday. This is something Bungie typically reveals, so they give us a look at the new artifact, of course new mods, and a couple of other things associated with Season 22. There's also another little bit of light news to start the video off, related to another upcoming game that Bungie are producing. And yes, this does appear to be something separate from obviously Destiny and Marathon, which Bungie have officially announced. There isn't a ton of info about it, but just a little nugget of info that we'll kick off the video with. So as always guys, I hope you enjoy this one today, and if you do, be sure to get subscribed for more Destiny news, but otherwise let's get into it. And so starting out very briefly right here, Destiny Bulletin initially posted, Bungie is working on a MOBA-esque game codenamed Gummy Bears, and we see some artwork right there that they have previously shared. I believe Bungie typically refer to these as sort of postcards that kind of sum up some of the visual identity of these upcoming titles and pieces of work. But Bungie also said incubation at Bungie is focused on developing inclusive worlds, which takes time and team members with diverse backgrounds, so we're actively hiring in fully remote roles. We're committed to a digital-first culture without a return-to-office mandate, but they go on to say one of our favourite incubation projects is a team-based action game inspired by several genres in a brand new science fantasy universe. And it draws inspiration from fighting games, platformers, MOBAs, life sims, and frog-type games, wrapped up in a light-hearted comedic world. The team is designing for depth, mastery, and Bungie's signature action feel, as well as a friendly, inclusive community, and we're actively hiring for this project and other small project teams. And there have been very loose references to this project previously on Bungie's career page. But of course it's something that they're working on in addition to Marathon, which has been announced, and of course the live service for Destiny. That's all there really is to report on it at the moment. Probably going to be a pretty long time before we hear anything else about a potential title there. But since it's a new bit of info, I thought it was worth mentioning in the video. Now though, getting on to the preview for Season 22 artifact perks, Bungie say we're getting ramped up for the Destiny showcase and we've got tons we can't wait to share. But before all of that kicks off, here's a sneak peek of your arsenal of perks for next season so you can prep your builds before diving into the action. And they also say the upcoming season is doing artifacts a little differently, so we've got the team here to chat about what's been updated and what the mod playground will look like when Season 22 arrives on Tuesday. So they say the Armor team wants to push the boundaries of how a seasonal artifact can enable you to customize your playstyle every season, unlocking more moment-to-moment gameplay decisions and new build possibilities. And inspired by the success of Strand Tangles, the team worked hard to develop a new sandbox feature we've dubbed Elemental Orbs. So it's a set of artifact perks that will allow players to create these orbs when they defeat enemies with arc, solar, or void weapons, and elemental orbs can then be picked up by any player and thrown to create an elementally aligned explosion that also jolts, scorches, or applies volatile, depending on the element of the orb. They also say certain perks deeper in the artifact also have various behaviours that trigger off these orbs and strand tangles, including one that rewards you when allies steal or borrow the ones that you make. So I think that sounds pretty interesting right there. And especially that capacity to trigger some of the other bonuses like Jolt, Scorch, or Volatile definitely makes them more interesting. And they say Elemental Orbs will add novelty to build crafting for the season, and we can't wait to see what kinds of builds folks come up with while using them. So once again, I think that sounds pretty interesting there. Let us know what you think below. Obviously, it'll be interesting having that ability to actually pick them up, much in the way that Strand Tangles can be. It certainly makes them quite interactive. And I'm hoping we see some pretty broken stuff there, but of course we'll actually get to check it out in game next week. Again though, let us know what you think, but they also say here are the specific artifact perks for Season 22. So in the first column, we're going to have Anti-Barrier Auto Rifle, as well as Piercing Bowstring, Unstoppable Scout Rifle, Overload Hand Cannon, and Unstoppable Fusion, which would be pretty cool to have that one back as well. Then in the second column, there'll be Arc Strand Siphon combo, and this combines the Arc and Strand Siphon mods into one. Plus there'll be the Solar Strand and Void Strand options there. And then there's Origin Perk Specialization 1, which greatly improves the benefits provided by the Head Rush, Nano Tracer Rockets, Unsated Hunger, and Redacted Origin traits, so presumably that will be the new one for the season. And then we get Diviner's Discount, and all Scavenger mods are discounted. But next there is Thanatotic Tangles in the third column right here, and Strand Weapon Final Blows have a chance to generate a tangle. And there's Origin Specialization 2, where Origin traits are always overcharged when that modifier is active. And here we have Elemental Orbs Void, Void, and while using a Void subclass, Void weapon final blows have a chance to spawn an elemental orb, and Void orbs can be thrown to create a Void explosion that makes enemies it damages volatile. So again, I think that sounds pretty interesting. There's also Elemental Orbs Arc, and as Bungie said, that one jolts targets that it damages, and Solar, which scorches targets that it damages. But here, moving on to the fourth column, we've got Overload Machine Guns, as well as Elemental Fury, and while stunned, champions take bonus damage from your abilities and Elemental Orb damage. There's also communal pickups, and when an ally destroys or picks up your Tangle or Elemental Orb, the Tangle cooldown is reduced by 5 seconds, and you gain bonus damage with weapons matching your subclass for 10 seconds. It'll definitely be interesting to see what kind of damage bonuses we get with those. But there's also refreshing pickups, and picking up a Tangle or Elemental Orb grants energy to your least powered ability, and Semi-Auto Striker, and if you have fewer than 2 stacks of armor charge, rapid precision shots with bows, snipers, and scout rifles generate an armor charge. But for the very final column here, there is Monochromatic Maestro. It'd be good to have this one, and dealing elemental ability damage increases matching weapon damage, and elemental weapon damage increases matching ability damage, and bonus granted will be 10% for 5 seconds. But there's also Rapid Fire Ranger, and rapid precision hits made from long range weaken the target, as well as Elemental Embrace, and subclass elemental buffs grant you bonus recovery and damage resistance against combatant attacks of the matching element type. As well as Elemental Munitions, and combatant final blows with Tangles or Elemental Orbs have a chance to drop special or heavy ammo. And depending on how good that is, it could be fairly popular, especially with changes coming to bonus heavy ammo drops when you're running double special weapons. But finally, there's Frenzied Stacks, and your armor charges grant bonus damage to your thrown Tangles or Elemental Orbs, and your armor charge now decays over time. And so obviously with some of the sandbox stuff going on in the game and the updates they're making with Strand, there's definitely a strong focus on Tangles there, but also Elemental Orbs, which appear to work in a very similar way, but obviously with those bonuses. Overall though, I think the available mods sound pretty good. Obviously a lot of it is going to depend on how good Elemental Orbs perform and how fun that gameplay is. But I think if players like that part, obviously the artifact and perk selection there could be pretty good. So give us your thoughts about it down below. They do say, one final note, the perks Overload Machine Guns and Hand Cannons do not currently overcharge those weapons when that modifier is active, and it's an unintended bug. But they do say Anti-Barrier Bow and Fusion Rifle will overcharge their weapons, but this is not currently reflected in their in-game descriptions, and the corrections will be made in a later patch. And so there we go guys, let us know what you think about it down below as well. That's our quick preview for the Season 22 artifact perks and that new sandbox element they're introducing. I hope the video as always has been interesting. If it has, a rating below really helps us out. Plus be sure to get subscribed to the channel and I'll keep you posted with more content. But otherwise, I will catch you guys very soon.